Okay, hello, welcome to our first ever Laurelbrook podcast. Tonight, we are talking about faith in action. Here at Laurelbrook, we are very exposed to serving others, to mission trips, to TCI, like community involvements and all that. So let's try to reflect on all our experiences about TCI, about mission trip. What has been your most memorable TCI or mission trip experience?
Like this one time we were in Michigan and I remember like this vehicle, somebody can get in the vehicle and for some reason everybody was up and all the men came to lift up this big truck. And while we all huddled together, some had on vests, some had on hoodies, we lift and we literally removed the vehicle in a parking lot to another row. And that was kind of fun. That was pretty cool. And it shows that with teamwork, we can achieve great things. And, it really stood out to me how we as Christian brothers and sisters, if we really commit to do something, we can move something that seems inedible.
When we were in the Adventist village, actually, there in Michigan, because one of that mission trip not only just gave us the experience of how it feels like to be in the mission work and also to help without really asking for any reward, but working for the service, for the greater good. It also gives you a fulfillment that surprisingly a lot of us people nowadays are searching for, a feeling of being um, useful or being fulfilling in life. So I think that mission trips in general give a purpose to some people who are finding a purpose in life and how they should or find out how they should be living their life, basically.
For me, I would say mm, my mission trip to Mexico last December. On this mission trip, for me, I think we can see how it really is like to be on the outskirts of being a missionary. Not only was that mission trip like challenging for all of us, but you can see how the Lord was working and how much the devil was trying to prevent the work from like actually going forth. And that mission trip has been very impactful for me, and I'm pretty sure for all of the students and staff that attended that mission trip. Yeah.
Yeah, what did you do there? Like what kind of mission trip was that?
That mission trip, we went to Querétaro and we basically helped to build a church there. And yeah, we're basically just building a church. And also, well, it's Mexico, so the local people there, they speak Spanish. Most of us there were not Hispanic or like, this, we speak Spanish. But I remember we would build a church and we would have like different rotations with the students there. So let's say in the morning, I would be in construction, and then in the afternoon, I would go out to like the community to be with the locals, and then we would like help teach these little children, the kids, English, music, Bible, stuff like that. And it was really amazing to see. These children were not Adventists, but like it really melted your heart to see them like after you have to leave how much they've learned, and like you feel like if you accomplished something, so it was really nice. Yeah.
That's really nice. It would also bring back to like why are we here? You know, mission trips, though it's very different from our like everyday lives, like as a student for you guys and as a staff, it changes how you also view about helping. It's more about God and it's more about what you can do for others to see that there is still hope and goodness in this world. Because wherever we are, whatever we do, serving others is very fulfilling if you are not focused on yourself, if you are focused on really helping and what can you do and what can you offer. But how does serving others change how you see yourself and God?
Doing mission trips made not just me, but a lot of people realize that this is how Jesus also did his ministry on earth, to be selfless. And doing mission trips is just a nice little taste of that, of what it feels to fulfill not just helping others, but to fulfill God's purpose in us. Mission trips help not just students, but also the people around to find a purpose of like what they can do for not just for others, but for God in His work, especially.
As what Nati said is like the same thing for me. It's just, for me, I think it was like, it helped me to see a different perspective of other people. Like, you know, growing up in an Adventist home, and then you get to see those who have not what they've gone through. Like, you know what they don't know. It also helped me to be, I guess, more humble and more like willing to serve more. Like now, if there's a mission trip, I wouldn't hesitate to put my name down, no matter if it's giving great controversies, building a church, helping this, going to a food bank. It's like that part of myself is gone. It's just now I'm willing to serve. And as Nati said, it helps you to remember that's what Jesus did. Like, we are not on this earth to be served, but we came to serve.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned about being humble. Like it's very humbling to, because it's very, you will realize how blessed you are and how we should be grateful every day, every waking day when we go to mission trips.
That is true, I was thinking a while and I was like, when you do stuff like this, it really makes you, it gives you that sense of satisfaction. Like, hey, I'm helping people. And it's not like to gain for worldly attention or like, hey, I'm doing this, look at me. But it's like, God, I'm doing what you're asking me to do. I'm reaching those who are poor, those who even have things but spiritually lack. And it brings this happiness like, hey, I'm actually doing God's work. And that's showing love. Just like when Christ said, you know what, you have fed me, you have clothed me. I look forward to hearing him say, hey, I've seen you give this food to this person or share this book with this person or help aid in the kitchen while other people were building the church. And it's not like the big accomplishment, but it's those little small details that not many people would know. And that's what I really like. I really enjoy helping. I really enjoy like going out, not just staying in one isolated place. Though it's nice at times, but it's like you get to go out, you get to see how other people are living, and you can sympathize with them, but more so empathize. You can actually feel what they're feeling, and you're like, God, help this person, help me to help them. And when God presents to you, hey, this is how you can help them, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. And that's how we're supposed to do. Like we're gonna go for it and be willing to help others.
Yeah, I like that point that it's not just about doing one thing. Like, let's say going to the Great Controversy mission trip and then there are no cooks. How can we all get our, the breakfast, the food that we need in the morning and preparing for lunch if there are no behind the scenes people? So yes, we are using our skills, we are using what we have, but more so of doing our talents, like what we are good at.
When you said that, something came to my mind. It's like you get to see your own self, like your own talents. You get to, in this process, because I know all of us, we're going through this process of like knowing what we're capable of. knowing what talents God put within us, especially for this work. And like all of us can go out and give out books. But then when we go door to door, it's either a smile or like a casual conversation or like, it is right, anything like, and it's like us being ourselves integrated into the work and the talents continually to multiply. And it's a beautiful thing because when you see now that, hey, I'm good in this area, there's more avenues down the road that I can take this way, I can go that way in a ministry or even helping, and it will bring more souls to the gospel. And that's something I find very cool.
And it's also making you connect to other people, and other people would see, like, let's say this ministry is needing one thing, and then, you know, they they see you as doing good in that particular area or that particular talent you have, so they can tap you like, hey, we need someone like you, or like, we need a guest speaker or a singer, or I don't know, whatever that may be. And that's also something that I wanted to ask. Like, yes, we learned a lot about ourselves when we go to mission trips, but what's something you learned from people that you helped, or from people that you connected with?
I think most of the times, especially people who are behind the works of like big mission trips or like big events, is that they're passionate about what they do, and most of them even have like a background of something like, oh, they used to be um, a gangster, or they used to be like someone who used to do drugs, but then later on you see them doing the mission work, and it's just a big thing, and how people do change through God's grace, and how we also can be like them, to be more, let's say, connected and more involved into doing God's ministry.
You know, when you said that, what came to my mind was OCI. When we heard of the different leaders spoke, that really made me think. Like, they read this one passage and boom, there's a great flame. Work started, then a ministry, then a movement. And it's like, we can do the same thing too. Like, we're young, we're strong, we have brilliant ideas, and God is just ready. And it's like the question is, are we ready? Like, what are we gonna do? Because we have so much talent before us, and it's just for us to not hesitate. I realize that I'm gonna speak for myself, when I hesitate to like go forward, it's like a major setback for something great. Not for myself, but for others, people who have the same ideas also. And it's like, what if? That what if is just a great question. But then when you put aside the what if and like, I'm gonna do it, go through, then you see how great of a change it happened. It's like, I remember this one time, we were at the falls, and I was very hesitant to jump from one rock to another rock. And it was like a big gap. And I'm like, man, I want to jump this rock. But then I was like very hesitant. Then like Kieran came and he's like, bro, what are you doing? Let's jump the rock. And I was like, okay, let's go, let's go. And he was ready to jump. He jumped, but then he jumped back. And I was like, okay, if he made the move, but then still came back, that means this goal is achievable. It's right before me. Eventually we jumped. And then when we crossed over and we looked back, we was like, wait, we really did it. Imagine that in like a spiritual chain. Like, God is showing you, this is the door, walk ye in it. Like, just go forward. Even sometimes when we can't see what's beyond the door, all we know, this is the direction that he's leading us to. just go forward. We've seen this in like many people's life that we've helped. We've seen how because of God's interaction with them, they were able to do much more. And they're sharing their testimonies by their actions when we interact with them. And that shows conversion. That shows what faith is. Like not just thinking, hey, the what if, I'm just gonna go. And so far God has been transforming and we see it in our lives every day. So yeah.
Yeah. I remember this experience one time. Like when we went to Michigan, like the last house when we got to Bible studies, like that's when you're so tired and you tend to like let's just skip this house and like let's just go home, and there's always this force that when you're about to give up or when you're planning or even thinking to give up, that's when you hear the voice of God saying like, hey, no, keep going, keep going. And I really like this. We have this word in Bisaya. It's called padayon. It's like keep going, keep going. And being in service or like serving others, it's a padayon. It keeps on going. Just keep on going. And oh, you want to share something?
No, it's just like that one slogan from Desmond Doss. You know, when he get those soldiers up there, he always asked God for one more, and he kept going.
Yeah,
Something like that.
just keep going. So I know that sometimes the mission trips we have here at Laurelbrook for students, it can be a requirement, like you have to go because you're in this class, or you have to sign up because you're a member of this class. How can service be more than just a school requirement for you guys?
I guess some people, especially like students, have the idea of like, oh, I'm not going there because they're just letting me trying to teach me how to do this or do that or do this for someone. But the real fact is that it's not just about you, it's about how you should or what you can give to the community around you. I guess most students get the idea of how they get forced because they think that they don't need to learn that anymore because they've done it before. That's the perspective I see some students have, especially on some things. That's why some are kind of hesitant, especially on some mission trips or outreach, because they have the perspective of, I know how to do this, I don't have to do it anymore. So the perspective that we should give to some students or even some staff too, that it's not just about what you learn, it's about what you can give or help. Okay, that's good that you learned something. How about we use that for something outside, for someone else, for them to learn?
That seems like a pride problem, honestly. Now thinking about like, you know what to do, and because you know what to do, quote unquote, you don't want to do it because it's like it's not in my quota, so I'm not gonna really do it because I know how to do it. When I was in Connecticut with my uncle, he told me like when somebody asked him, does he know how to do this, he would say no, even though he knows how to do it. And I was like, bro, that's straight up lying. And then he would say like, okay, so the trick is I want them to teach me what they know. And if it's good, I'll put it in my skills. If it's not, then I continue doing what I'm doing. And that I realized like even with outreach or Bible studies, whatever it may be, we don't know everything. And if we have a humble spirit, as like the Bible said, like a child, always willing to learn, you'd be surprised of what people can teach you that could be effective, or if it's not effective, you just continue with what you know what's best. It's like, what if the opportunity in which they could have, they miss it out. Let's say if they had the choice and they miss it, they would probably miss out on one smile from somebody, or like you never know what could occur during that moment. And I always think to myself like, what if I never went to this outreach or this mission trip? I would never see the happiness or the joy from somebody else. That's a blessing. And so it's like, looking beyond the requirements, I would ask myself, what does God require from me? Like, why am I here for? Am I here for myself? Because as we like to do, we like to live for ourselves at times. But if we're really here for God, then we won't look at this as a chore. We won't look at this as like, I need to do it to get a good grade or whatever. And if we have that mindset that this is for God and I'm here for God, then I think many people would be doing it a lot.
Uh, in addition to that, I'm not a student, but I want to answer. Yeah. Being involved in the mission, it's yes, it is a choice, but it's more on a lifestyle. It's preparing yourself into like heaven, or preparing yourself into like what are what are we called to do, to serve, right? So why not choosing like it's more than just a requirement, because it's your lifestyle. It becomes who you are. It's not a chore anymore, because it's automatic that it's part of you, that the mentality to serve, the willingness to serve, the eagerness to serve, it's who you are now. It's not a matter of should I go or should I not. No, it's an I will go all the time.
Yeah. Um, and though some students may think, oh, this is not for me, like, oh, I'm not good at talking to people or like going to
Yeah.
their door.
I
There we
remember you
go.
said that before the
Oh,
mission trip.
I'm terrified. But
Dogs.
I mean, yeah, that too. But how will you know if you never tried? And okay, if outreach is not for you, then God has another thing for you. There's many branches in the ministry that we all are forgetting. It's not just outreach, but we have to start somewhere. And I think mission trips and outreach is one of the good options to start.
Yeah, to add to what Nati said about like the people say like, oh, this is not for me. We all know the common saying like, don't judge a book by its cover, right? I think actually I don't think I remember exactly for the Chattanooga mission trip in March. Like I saw the sign up sheet and I was like, I mean like maybe I should go, but then I heard 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm not a morning person. I don't want to do this, but something in me, well, actually, I don't remember. It was one of the girls. They were like, okay, you're going. You don't have a choice. I'm like, okay, I guess so. But like, I put my name. And I remember all of the students I saw, like, it was like a long list. I'm like, does everyone really want to go to this mission trip? And then when I actually listened, they were like, no, my roommate just signed me up. This happened. I'm like, okay. But actually, when Mr. Warren was telling us about this mission trip, like, I think in a worship one morning chapel or something, he was telling us like the details of the mission trip and how it's gonna be, and like at that point I think it became mandatory for the students before they signed up. But it was good. And I don't know, but like part of me was like, man, waking up 5:30 in the morning is not gonna be good. Like I might, get in trouble or something. But the thing is, as I said before, don't judge a book by its cover. That mission trip was one of my favorite mission trips I've ever like.
It's not just you giving out a book, but it's like interactions with your teammates,
Exactly.
with the people.
Like said.
And it's so fun. It's really fun, especially when you have those people who are like they bring the vibes. Like what's his name? Justin. Like
Mr. Justin.
he brought the energy. Like even when you're tired, he would get you fired up. And it's like you meet so many diverse people, individuals with amazing character, personalities that really shows you like, hey, this is actually really fun. And as you like go through the day, because also when I saw the time 5:30, I was like, man, 5:30? I mean, I could wake up, but this early every day? And when I don't know what I believe it was God, I just go. And then, I go there. It was woke up, and I was like, man, this is interesting. Hearing the music early in the morning, and it was like beautiful because it's like this is how we're supposed to be. Like we're supposed to be like waking up, worshiping together, and then going out. Even breakfast time, like you have so much people, you don't know anybody, but it was. But then, like when you really sat down and you eat your food and you talk, and you're just ready for going out into the fields, it's really fun. And I find that from like majority of the students and the staff's perspective of coming back, everything changed, and that's interesting.
So I think this is a very interesting discussion. I wanted to know, what are your takeaways for tonight's episode?
Don't think of it as a burden, but think of it as a blessing to others, and how you could, um, let's say, don't think of this like as a mission trip and TCI as something like a chore or something that is to be forced, but it's something that actually also comes from your heart, and to understand it's not just for your benefit but also for the people around you.
Okay, so don't judge a book by its cover. Do not, don't think of it as a burden. Yeah, I won't forget that one. Also, keep going. Amen. Don't give up. We didn't say it exactly, but what I got, like, also at the end of this, God is always there. And some of the mission trips, it's all for our character development and not just to serve others. Meaning, some of them, not all mission trips we go on, some we do. And those that we do, maybe it's for a reason God wants us to, some experience that God wants us to have. So don't be hesitant, be willing, keep going, don't give up, don't judge a book by its cover.
All right, that has been our episode for tonight. So stay tuned for our next episodes.
And don't forget that to know God is not just by learning, but
By doing.